I'm going to take a moment to interrupt the previously planned video to talk about hung jury very briefly. In fact, this video might be interrupted several times and filmed in snippets because I'm actually on my way to work, so I don't have full time that deserves to be properly recorded because I need to get back to my life. And that's why I chose to do this hung jury segment, because I wrote this book in the early 1990s. Started as a college paper. It was a mandatory paper as an undergrad while I was studying social theory and political economics. It was after my dear friend Mark Belmore was murdered, and you can Google Mark Belmore, or maybe this video, I'll get back to that. And I had chosen to join a sorority, even though I was already secretary of my ski club and senator of my dorm. But someone actually attacked me in my dorm and began stalking me for years, even though I reported it to everybody, from my professor, whose course I had just left to go home to the dorms, and this person was working security, asking everyone to sign in. But again, more on those details perhaps at another time. In the early 1990s, there were no laws that made stalking and harassment a crime even. And this was long before the Me Too movement. So he said, she said, nobody even wanted to acknowledge what I was saying. And he proceeded to continue stalking me everywhere. If I went on campus, he would follow me. He'd send cards, gifts, whatnot. Partly inspired this book. This book is fiction. But after my one course, I wrote a 22-page paper. The head of my department actually wanted me to try and get that paper published. That's another long story video for another day. I was maybe 19 years old, and my only idea of publishing was book publishing. I did get inspired to go back and do a double up course to expand my 22-page paper into this, what was at the time a manuscript that became my first independently produced film in 1999. And then Houghton Mifflin pursued me to try and publish the book version. Again, that's a story, long version, another day. But I had met the president of Houghton Mifflin, Nita Durashuri, at an event. Ben Affleck was there. In fact, friends of mine wanted me to have Ben Affleck in the film that I produced. But, you know, and Matt Damon, they were our hometown heroes. At the time, I was maybe naive and didn't want big names attached because I really wanted to show the power of an independent voice and independent people. But also, there was an aversion from me to wanting to work with some of these people in the industry who I did not know specifically at the time. This was long before Me Too movement. But that was also the heyday of Harvey Weinstein and a lot of those people. Again, 1999, I produced the film version of this book. Wrote it in the early 1990s. Hung jury. We're hearing a lot of that lately between the Karen Reed verdict in Massachusetts, where I wrote this book, and yesterday's horrible news that P Diddy, whatever the name of that monster of a creature might be. It pains me to know how many horrible things he did to countless people, lives that have been thrown into chaos and turmoil. And much of what the reporting was done suggested they're blaming the victims. Why didn't they just leave? Why didn't they report it? Well, again, I feel compelled to insert this video to remind people it's not that easy. A lot of victims are so traumatized, they originally go into sort of a denial mode because their brain cannot process the full trauma. Also, even when they are aware of it, statistics show that only 20% of victims of violent crime report the crime because of fear of retaliation and because of the shame that they will be attached to when society still blames victims. So of the few victims who have the courage to actually report the crime, 80% statistically, again, I published this in 2008, it says this in the back of the book. The book is mostly fiction, but I, in the afterwards section, get into statistics. Most of the reports are not ever even filed by the police, who throw the reports away because they do not want to do an investigation or because of their own personal bias. Again, why the book is called Hung Jury. It's a double entendre. And if you read the book, I don't want to give it too much away, but partly why these things happen, these horrible crimes against humanity, is because too many people condone what's going on. Because they themselves, and the jury is made up of our peers allegedly, if those peers think that's normal, that's acceptable, no criminal will be held accountable. In 1990, it was not even considered a crime to stalk or harass somebody. Congressman Joe Kennedy was the first congressman in the United States to write and pass a bill making it a crime to stalk and harass somebody. Again, I am on this journey back to wellness, and the video that I had hoped to be posting next, and still needing time to edit all the photos and videos. It was a lovely tranquility event at the Naples Grand. People came in from all over the country, including our urban meditation ladies, specifically Danielle, who does also high vibe wellness. That will be another video. But everybody's journey back to wellness is usually what they consider like doing the cha-cha. One step forward, two steps back. Whether it's a physical injury, your strength, your recovery is not always a straight line going up. Sometimes it's up and down. You're doing well. You have really bad days. You're doing well. Sometimes our best plans get sidelined. Sometimes we have schedules. We have parents to take care of. We have children to take care of. We have work to get to. And they ask victims, why didn't you do more? Why didn't you report it? I wrote this to raise awareness of the lack of victims' rights. Most victims are just trying to survive. They're terrified. There are not enough safe places to go. Women, myself included, can't just leave. Where do you go? Sometimes it's out of the frying pan into the fire, and that's that's not a fair place to put victims. Hung jury. Pray for all of the victims of this world, whether it's victims of war, man-made destruction, or just in a much more quiet way, victims of domestic violence who can't escape their circumstances in any country, especially the United States. But sometimes it's just even more subtle, the cultural violence, forcing us to think that it's okay, to force people into a lifestyle that we all know is not healthy, but there's just no escaping. Now might be the perfect time to also remind people that here at Urban Meditation on Fifth Avenue in Naples, they sell my essential art, lip glosses, Pro Repair Serum, Restore Cream. I chipped my fingernail, don't judge me. The Fresh Tea Face Mist. All of my essential art skincare products used to be sold on princeoffreedom.net, but that website is currently down, which is why it goes very nicely with this little video I'm putting together. Life happens, and we work really hard to move forward, to be good members of the community, to earn money with real jobs at real work. But sometimes things happen. People do become victimized. It can create trauma. We all know when you become a certain age what heartache is, negative self-talk. Negative environment can be physical environment, like toxins in water or the air pollution, or just people. When you're being physically, emotionally, financially abused, it lowers your frequency, and that's where the dis-ease begins to form. People can get cancers or autoimmune issues, or just general like emotional issues. But the more you raise your frequency, and here at Urban Meditation they believe their lava beds are heated with infrared, and science has shown it is very detoxifying, and the crystals that they surround you with raise your frequency. My essential art skincare, essentialartskincare.com, is sold here at Urban Meditation. It's vegan, but the ladies of Urban Meditation came up with their beautiful meditation programs, and they not only have you laying on a heated lava bed, which feels so beautiful, but they match each 30-minute guided meditation with essential oil blends to provide aromatherapy while you're meditating. Today's meditation is focusing on the root chakra, and they've matched it with the Power Essential Oil Blend. You can see you're in control of your thoughts and emotion without fear. You stay grounded and secure to the earth. You find peace, strength, and balance in all aspects of your life. You are a powerhouse. And a chakra is really merely an energy center. Science shows we have these energy centers along meridians, and because of various traumas, physical or emotional, you can get blockages around your energy centers. So today they're working on the root chakra, and they've matched it with the Power Essential Oil Blend which is brilliant because these ladies have thought of everything. It's 4th of July weekend, so while you celebrate your freedom in this very broken world, remember, try and be gentle, be kind. There are a lot of people, especially our military members, so the sounds like these loud cars or loud fireworks, even the loud thunder, which upsets my dog, you know, it can trigger a lot of post-traumatic stress in people. It's not just women who are victims. Remember, P Diddy victimized a lot of men, and we need to be sensitive that everybody is trying to heal.